Thank you again, Deborah, so much for taking the time this afternoon to chat with me real quick and help share out information to folks here in Ashtabula. So we really appreciate it in our partnership together with the Ashtabula County Board of Realtors. So, and I can see it right behind you too, your logo.
That's right. It's our new logo.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Brand new.
How about, very casual conversation, and folks while they're watching can chat questions as they may come up. But, tell us kind of what is the Ashtabula County Board of Realtors? What do you guys do? What are your resources that you give to other professionals and to residents, and kind of what's the purpose of your organization?
What's the purpose of our organization? Well, for other realtors, we provide education, CEs, because CEs are required in our industry to keep us up to date and current with the laws and anything that changes in the field of real estate. At the Ashtabula Board of Realtors office, we have an E&O officer. Her name is Lisa Braille. She's wonderful. She will help if a realtor needs anything as far as supplies go, as far as lock boxes and whatnot. And we have just started to carry the electronic lock boxes, which is a very secure method.
Is that like electronic password?
It is.
That's nice.
And if you are not, if the realtor, if you are not on time and you're outside of your window, you're not getting in the home. So that provides a safety for homeowners as well who are listing their house to sell. We do fundraisers. We have, and it breaks our heart this year. This is the first year, and I think it's 39 years now that we did the hospice cake auction.
I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so was I, because your mom's chocolate cake is a big hit in this house. I know that. So anyways, we do to support the Hospice of the Western Reserve. And then we also have golf outings, which as of right now is still, we're talking about what we're doing with that. And for the past couple of years, we have supported the CDC. Did I get that right? Let me see. Anyways, and so we have done that. And
that's a big fundraiser for the CDC.
It is.
Your golf outing.
It is. It's been very successful, and it's a lot of fun, and people that come to the golf outing look forward to having a good time. It's a good time for everybody. Just let your hair down and play some golf.
You all focus on and kind of provide education for realtors, different resources for them, and then you're also pretty active in the community, which is great. Fundraising and kind of being a community support arm too. How many folks do you guys have as members? Realtors here in the county.
Last count I think was 139.
There's a lot. I don't think people really realize just how much, we're a big county. There's a lot of property. There's a lot of moving pieces, and it takes, a lot of professionals to be able to help that process along. So you guys do quite a bit here in the county.
We do.
Yeah. So now what, being a realtor, what are some of the qualifications to go into that? Like what's actually the process to become a realtor? All of those folks that have, are serving in that role, here in the county right now, because, property, real estate, that's been considered now an essential, written right into the Ohio law that governs what we're going through right now. It's an essential business just because of how important real estate transfers and property selling is. So what all goes into becoming a realtor?
Well, you have to go and you take 40 hours of a course that's in principles and practices, and then you take 40 hours of Ohio real estate law, and then there's a 20-hour course in real estate appraisals and another 20-hour course for real estate finance. And then you have to sit and take a state test, and there's a minimum. It's been years since I took it. I want to say 80% is your minimum.
Okay.
That's terrible. I should know that.
So
But
there's
I passed it, so
so you're good. You're fine.
I can forget that.
So you have to take a test. You have to
That
do
in
some
2000.
in
Pardon
2000.
me?
Oh, you did
In
that in
2007.
2000? 2007.
No, in
Wow.
2007 I was licensed. Yeah.
Oh,
And then I
right
got my
before the
broker's
crash.
license. Yeah. Talk about a time to learn how to sell real estate. It was good.
Make or break.
Hey, try, baptism by fire,
Yeah. And then I imagine you have to do, you said CE, so continuing education and different credits to keep up to date with some of the
30.
laws and some of the practices.
Correct. You need 30 CEs every 3 years.
Wow. So it's pretty intense. And that, again, kind of goes back to just how, valuable you all are and what type of, role you play in the community for, that process. So quite a bit goes into it. So now what are some of the services? So a lot of times people will see, the realtor sign in the front yard of their neighbor, or they may reach out if they're going to be putting the home on the market. But what are some of the things that realtors do for, normal residents selling their homes that maybe the general public doesn't think about or doesn't know or, realize that you all actually do for that process?
Well, every realtor has their own bag of tricks. So it's not like a standard cookie cutter thing. So that's why you should always interview your realtors to see who you would like to use. But some of the things that realtors do, if you want to stage your home, they'll contact, they'll help you reach out to a stager so that you can stage your home,
Kind of like on TV?
get your home ready for the market. Yeah, I guess some people actually do. Sure. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
But they'll show you, the values, your comparable properties in your home, with your home and others that have sold in your area. And I know what, it's just easier if I tell you what I do, but I don't want to pinpoint this to just, myself. We are a group, but I know what I do. So then, you have your social media. They'll put it out on your social media and they'll market your property in every way, in every facet that there is. Plus it is syndicated out on other websites. A lot of realtors do that as well. And we stick a sign in your yard. But right now during the COVID time, I know that I have like shoe booties at my listing so that people can put those over their shoes. Rubber gloves are always a good thing to have on hand, and definitely hand sanitizer. I know that I personally ask my sellers right now during this COVID, if they're, for showing purposes, if they would open, some of their kitchen cabinets and have all the lights already turned on. That's just less touching in their home.
So you all are still doing, even, in early April, for example, during the shutdown, you all were still doing tours and showing, homes and everything, and people were comfortable with that? That's interesting. Huh.
Well, it did slow down for a little bit until we got the safety precautions in place and everybody wears a mask, going into a home and whatnot. I know in the beginning, it's called falling forward, whatever, the learning curve. There was a time in the beginning where I wasn't paralyzed with the fear of the COVID-19. I have it, but very definitely a healthy respect for it. And I only wanted to show vacant houses in that time. Well, that's not really doing my fiduciary duty to the buyers. So I had to, get smart and get the mask, the rubber gloves, the shoe booties, the hand sanitizer, and we go into homes. People typically put their hands in their pockets, and I have the rubber gloves on. Like, what do you want to see, kind of thing.
Don't get the black light out.
Pardon me?
I said, don't get a black light out. That probably wouldn't be good.
Yeah. So,
and I've heard that, I've heard virtual showings have become a big thing. So what are, if someone hasn't been in the market for quite a while, what's a virtual tour or virtual showing?
I have done those. Those are fun. Where I've also, and the other agents have also FaceTimed through properties, or but a virtual tour is, a lot of agents now are taking virtual tours, so they're videotaping all the way through the homes, and then they are offering to put those, to send those to other agents, our colleagues, before they actually set the showing, and they can send that on to their buyers. A lot of us have uploaded it onto the MLS so that people can take the tour first to really see if it's worth going out and seeing if it's going to match their needs.
Do you think these are things that are going to be kind of like the new normal, in a sense, where you have
I
more of
do.
those virtual things, you have more online, but then also just, I bought a house about a year and a half ago, and I remember kind of the whole process. We probably visited about 30 of them, thinking to myself, I'm in a stranger's bedroom in their closet, and it's kind of weird. you know so I kind of wondered about like that whole health aspect of, well, maybe you shouldn't be touching their clothes and things,
Yeah.
along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I do definitely think that this is going to be part of the new norm. And you know what? I think it's excellent. I think these virtual tours are wonderful, because then by the time you see the virtual tour, then whether like, I'll know whether my buyer will also know whether they really want to go see that home or not, or if it's not going to fit the bill.
Now, how do you think, because we've been through about 2 months of the stay-at-home order, and now it's the stay safe order, so people feel a little bit more like they can get out. How do you think the past 2 months have compared for your profession versus what may be in the next couple of months? Summer usually, I know, is a busy time for selling. What are you expecting from 2 months and in the future too?
Um, from my colleagues that I hear that are still working, they are busy, because buyers still need to sell. And I will say this, that yesterday I was a little leery, but yesterday I actually had my first open house. I held my first open house, physical open house, since
With
all this.
people
Yes,
there.
with
Wow.
people there. And there were just rules and guidelines put in place. Everybody had to have a mask. Um, there was no reason for touching, because I went through and I opened what needed to be opened, and I had rubber gloves on. I had rubber gloves for others that wanted to come in. I had the shoe booties, and I had hand sanitizer, and it was one car at a time. There were people that had to wait their turn. And I was really surprised at the turnout. There was really a lot of people who wanted to come.
So you guys,
And
and it's what? I'm sorry.
it's under contract, so
Oh,
it worked.
congratulations. Well, and that's, I think, could you touch on briefly just kind of our real estate market here in the county? I think that's kind of a good base for us to understand. And then I got a couple more questions about just how, people have been kind of behaving and what their reaction has been during the pandemic, and what we're thinking for the future. But our real estate market's kind of unique, and we were talking about that a little bit before our conversation started.
Mhm. We have a good market. I don't want to make it sound like nobody's affected, because we all are affected, and all of us are taking it serious. Well, I would hope that all of us are taking it seriously, because it is very serious right now. But inventory is low, and there are still people who need to buy a home, who are relocating to this area for all the great things that are starting up here in Ashtabula County. I know that there's a new plant going in the harbor, and I've sold a couple houses because there's a new plant coming in the harbor, and those people need places to live. And things, who doesn't want to live in Ashtabula County? I think it's the best. I mean, look at all our metro parks. Look at all the things that are, and during the whole self-quarantine thing, we have 4 children, and I was like, what am I going to do with these kids? I thought, well, why not? We have all these metro parks. We can take a nice, healthy walk in the park. And, we also went and we hit all the covered bridges. Why not?
Those staycations, I think, are something that a lot of
Yeah.
folks have enjoyed, and hopefully sharing out to people who are interested in moving in. And you kind of touched on that. Our supply of available homes in the county is very low, because we predominantly have an older housing stock, and so if our demand is increasing, which it seems like, certainly I think over the past couple of years it has been, more folks moving in. I joke I wish the census were in 2 or 3 years, not right now, because I think we'd be actually possibly growing in comparison to 2015 prior. But would you say then that probably the demand, as long as it stays fairly consistent, we're going to still see a need for showings and for people putting their house on the market?
I do, because like I said, people need a place to live, and there are a lot more buyers. I mean, we have a shortage. That's just period. We do. We have a shortage of inventory, and to satisfy the buyer, it's all supply and demand. Now people are getting top dollar for their home right now because supply and demand. There's not enough houses for the demand.
So kind of, looking towards that new normal of, how do we do business during the, safe at home order, for example, and during the summer, what are you advising potential buyers or potential sellers to be thinking about for the real estate, either looking out and possibly buying a home, or maybe they've been thinking about moving themselves in the county or out of the county and placing the home on the market? How would you kind of advise them to prepare, or, should they wait? Should they go ahead and do it now, do you think, or is it all kind of up in the air depending on their situation?
Every situation is different because everybody is, unique to themselves. How fast do they have to move? Where do they want to move? These are things they need to be thinking about. And then, are they pre-qualified? Do they know what they can afford? These are the things that start. And then picking a realtor, and Ashtabula has a lot of great ones. Pick a good realtor, let them work for you, and first see if there's a virtual tour out there before you leave your home, the safety of your home, to go see a property. And be wise when you go. Don't touch everything. Hopefully your realtor has rubber gloves on and can open the doors for you, and then not everybody has to be touching. I know I carry wipes in my car. It's just a new norm. Did I answer your question? I don't think I did.
No.
Oh no, you're muted.
Oh,
there you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
I can.
I think it'll be interesting to see, what the market forces are, right? And what happens with the economy over the next couple of months. Because, looking back at some of the other downturns that we've had here in the county and the country, are we kind of, in a sense, more insulated and better protected for our real estate market versus, like, for example, a Cuyahoga or a Lake County or a Geauga County?
Well, I think that there are still buyers out there who are affected. I know I have a couple myself who, because of COVID, have become unemployed, but it's not because of what the government has put into place. It's kind of insulated them. It's not necessarily looked at as unemployment that you would have, let's say, a year ago.
Right.
As soon as those people get back to work, it's just moving forward at that point in time.
Yeah,
So
no, I think it'll be interesting to kind of see, and as we talked about, some of the safety precautions. The last kind of question I have real quick, and if anyone who's watching live here on Facebook or on Zoom would like to chat in a question, feel free to type that now. Actually, I've got two more questions. I know I've started to see mortgage rate advertisements coming about on the radio and on TV. Is now a good time for for mortgages, for looking at some of that type of financing? Have you started kind of like a better trend for that, just given the economic situation right now?
The interest rates are definitely low, so reach out to your lender and find out what they are, because they change daily. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people who are past clients of mine who are actually refinancing because the interest rates are so good.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Just given everything, and if you can get something at a better rate, probably a lot different than even just a couple of years ago, or months even, probably, based on what we've been seeing. And then if folks have questions, about the real estate process, or about, the potential of putting their house in the market or looking at moving, do you recommend them reaching out possibly to the board office, or what's kind of a good resource? You had said interviewing realtors is always a good thing to do. How would someone, except for just Googling in Ashtabula County Realtor, what would be kind of your suggested process for them?
Give Lisa Braille up at the board office a call, and the number up there is 440-998 1152, and she can give you the whole list of people to call if you would like.
I think it's a great resource, and it's always good to get a couple opinions to kind of see, as you said, it's definitely a relationship with your realtor, right? Because you're going through a process. It took me 2 years, so we got close.
But that's good. That's how it should be. I think that real estate is a relationship business. You're building relationships, and I know that I enjoy the people that I work with, and they become friends.
Now, do you do commercial? Do you do the commercial side of real estate too, or because we mainly talked about residential?
You should really be certified. That's my opinion. Maybe I shouldn't give my opinion, but you should really be certified in commercial and really know what you're doing. Have I sold commercial? Yes, but I have my broker's license as well.
Okay. So if there are folks, because I know we have quite a bit of some rental properties that are deemed commercial, and some other different types here in the county, and that's kind of a whole nother segment than what we've been discussing with residential. So those were the different questions that were sent in and were shared by the public. But just want to thank you, Debra, so much for your time this afternoon and for everything that the Board of Realtors does, as we discussed. Being a resource for realtors, for the public, but then also helping to fundraise and supporting community organizations and involvements. You guys do a great job with that.
It's my pleasure. And it's, the board of the Ashtabula County Realtors, we're a good group of people. We just like to put smiles on people's faces.
You do a nice job of it. Well, we want to thank everyone for watching, and like I said, this will be shared up on our YouTube channel and our website for the Auditor's Office, but then also on our social media sites too. So thank you so much. Stay safe and have a good rest of your week.